Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Welcome to the Traveling Tarot. This is your weekly love forecast for Sunday, September 1st, 2019. Now, as you can see, the cards are already out. And in fact, what happened was exactly what happened the last time. The cards were completely out. For some reason, the file got corrupted, and I did not realize that until I tried to upload it. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it until I tried to upload it, and luckily I still had the cards out. I would do another reading concerning it, but I feel, or I could do a completely different reading, but I feel like this reading here is very important, and I wanted to get it out to you, especially on this day of love. And so I kept this as it was, and so we are going to dive right back into it without any more preamble. This is a reading for the collective today. My hope is that there is something good and positive you can glean from this particular reading today, regardless of your current love circumstance. And above all, after you finish this video, I hope that you feel empowered, you feel emboldened, you feel strong, and you feel ready to take on the world and live your best life possible. So it's frustrating. I won't lie to you. It's frustrating because I thought the reading that got corrupted was a really, really good reading and a really strong reading, and it could have helped a lot of people. But apparently the universe had different plans. And so we have to be flexible. We have to be willing to roll with the punches and work with however life is presenting to us right now. So let's just jump right in. Our main plot line for today, our main story for today, is the Seven of Michael. There is a better course of action available to you. Working alone may not be the best answer. Review all the details. The Seven of Michael, I believe, showed up either yesterday or the day before. I want to say it was either Saturday or Friday, I can't remember, but the Seven of Michael has popped up more than once this week, and because of that, it's trying to give us some insight and inspiration perhaps that we didn't catch the first time. So we'll see how that applies to our focus on love today. The Empress is the first subplot for today. There's the Empress. And I'll hold up the Seven of Michael to the camera so that you can see that as well here in a second. But there's the Empress, and the Empress is Archangel Gabriel. Time to act upon your plans. Creativity is rewarded. Luxurious or abundant resources. So again, with the Empress, it's saying time to act upon your plans. Seven of Michael is saying there is a better course of action available to you. We're moving into a different, perhaps different stage of our evolution when it comes to loving other people and, more importantly, loving ourselves. So here is the Seven of Michael, and there it is right there. And that's our main plot for today. And then our two subplots are the Empress, which I just showed you, and the Wheel. The Wheel. There we go. And so the Wheel is Archangel Jeremiel. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's spelled Jeremiel. So I'm assuming that's Jeremiel. And the Wheel says new beginnings, end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. Again, change of direction. It feels like there's a lot of movement happening. The Seven of Michael says there's a better course of action available to you. The Empress says time to act upon your plans, and the Wheel is saying a change in direction that offers happiness. So there's a lot of movement today, and there's a lot of movement perhaps this week when it comes to love. And perhaps we are moving into a new stage of self-love, as well as a new stage of our experience in loving each other. So let's dive on in. The Seven of Michael. There is a better course of action available to you. Working alone may not be the answer. Review all the details. Now, I'm going to hold off on the actual words of the Seven of Michael, and again focus on the imagery of Seven of Michael. So I encourage you to take that imagery in. We've got a person that is basically standing at a crossroads. One road leads to dark, dank forest, and the other leads to a bright, shining, inviting meadow. And the Seven of Michael is standing right there. So please take that imagery in, because we're going to discuss it. What I immediately got from this card is something that we talked about before, which is you are not alone. We are never alone. The Seven of Michael, Archangel Michael, is not just standing at that crossroads encouraging us to take the bright, shiny meadow path. He's not just standing there. He's going to follow us whichever path that we take. He is gently nudging us, as the universe always does, to perhaps a path that is easier, to perhaps a path that is much more aligned with who we are as spirits. Michael is certainly encouraging us to take that path, but regardless of what path we take, Michael is going to be with us. And I think the strong imagery there is, not only is Michael going to be with us, but our other angels, our archangels, our guardian angels, our spirit guides, our ancestors. We have so many people, so many spirits that are actually in our corner, encouraging us, cheering us on, and regardless of what path we eventually take, they're going to stick with us. It's not as if Michael is going to stay at that crossroads and wait for the next person to come by. No, Michael is with us. And the beautiful thing is, Michael can be with all of us. So, the Seven of Michael is encouraging us there's a better course of action available to you. Again, the universe nudging us into a better course of action, a better way of seeing things, a better way of experiencing things. The universe is nudging us in that direction, but if we choose not to go in that direction, the universe is very, very adept at meeting us exactly where we are, and is very, very adept at working with us exactly where we are. And so when we're talking about love here, very often we get stuck in a rut, and we're going to get to that with the Empress, but very often we get stuck in a particular way of doing things. And that's not just within love, that's within everything. But since we're talking about love, perhaps we get stuck in a rut of thinking about things only one way. Perhaps we get stuck in expecting things one way. Perhaps we get stuck in a rut of experiencing things one way. The Seven of Michael is encouraging us today that there really is a better course of action available to all of us. If you're not getting the results that you want, perhaps it's time to change course. If we're not getting the love that we are giving out, perhaps it's time to change course. If we are not experiencing love, unconditional love from all corners, perhaps it's time to change course. Also, working alone may not be the answer. There is an old adage that says, once bitten, twice shy. I don't know if that's an adage or just a saying, but once bitten, twice shy. There may be some of you out there that have been hurt by love. There may be somebody out there that has been absolutely crushed by love. There may be people out there that have felt love very, very deeply, but not gotten that love back in return. The bravest thing that you can do, the bravest thing that anybody can do, is to believe in love again. And not just believe in love for other people, but believe in love for ourselves again. Which means putting ourselves back out there. Working alone may not be the answer. Putting ourselves out there and saying, I am ready and available for love, real love, true love, unconditional love to come into my life. And I'm also ready to give that unconditional love to other people. It's brave. It's so brave, and it's hard at the same time to actually put yourself out there and be vulnerable once again. But the Seven of Michaels is saying that perhaps now is the time to... You're done licking your wounds. You're done with the healing that... You're done with as much healing as you can do all by yourself. Now is the time to actually reach out to other people and work with other people and engage with other people in a way that says, I am available to receive unconditional love because I'm worth it, and I give unconditional love because we're all worth it. So that's what the Seven of Michael is saying to us today. And as we move into the Empress card, time to act upon your plans. Creativity is rewarded. Luxurious or abundant resources. Very often, and I will say this about myself. I am a daydreamer. I am a daydreamer. I love daydreaming. I love going off into my own head and going on adventures and fantasies and slaying dragons and partying with the fairies and all of that. I'm very much a fantastical, living in my head kind of a person. I'm a daydreamer. And when I daydream about love, and when I daydream about the perfect person for me, I envision a husband. I really do. I envision a person. I envision myself looking down at my left hand and seeing a ring on this particular finger. I imagine myself with someone that is committed to me and loves me unconditionally, and that I love him unconditionally, and we are creating this life together through all the ups and downs, through all the hard times and all the good times. We are together. We are immovable. We are strong. We are together. I say that because it's time to act upon your plans. It's time to take all of those daydreams and put them into action. If you want a significant other in your life, if you want the best in your life, be the best. If you want to attract a certain quality in your life, be that quality. It's time for all of us, if we are looking for love, to be that person that we're trying to attract. I always say that like attracts like, which is true. Like certainly does attract like. But, and so keeping that in mind, if we're vibrating at our highest level, if we are up here and we're vibrating up here, then we're going to attract people that are vibrating up here. We're going to attract like. If we are constantly attracting the wrong element into our lives, perhaps it might be advantageous to us to look and see what element it is in our own lives that's actually attracting that bad element into our lives. Because like I said, like attracts like. If we're constantly working on ourselves, if we're constantly working to make ourselves better, if we're constantly working to vibrate at that higher level, when we reach that higher level and we're living at that higher level, then we're attracting people at that higher level as well. It's time to act upon that. And I believe that the Empress is saying, work on yourself. Work on yourself. It's time to stop daydreaming and actually work on ourselves so that we can actually be the kind of person that we are trying to attract into our lives. Creativity is rewarded. The beautiful thing is, and I think what the Empress is also saying is, think outside the box. Do stuff that makes you happy. Go out there and experience life that makes you happy, that makes you passionate, that brings you joy. Because that way, again, you're focusing your attention on yourself. You're focusing the attention on making yourself a better person. Other people have nothing to do with you being the best possible version of you. Regardless of whether you're with someone or you're by yourself or somewhere in between, the universe is encouraging you to be the best possible version of yourself that you can be each and every day. And so the Empress is saying, okay, if we are trying to be the best possible version of ourselves, what do we want to do today? What do we want to do this week that allows us to vibrate at that particular level? And generally that can be found, one of the best ways where that can be, how that can be found is through doing what makes you happy, doing what brings you passion, doing what brings you joy. Because when we do that and we're doing it for its own sake, we are going out and we are experiencing things that bring us joy for its own sake so that we can vibrate at that higher level. It's much more relaxing. It's so much more relaxing to go into a situation where you're not looking for your mate. You're there to have a good time. It relaxes you because you're not constantly on the hunt for somebody that may or may not even be there that day. So, first of all, it allows you to relax. And second of all, it allows you to vibrate at that higher level. When you're doing something that you enjoy, you are vibrating at a much higher level than you are when you are doing the mundane tasks of your everyday life. And when you're constantly vibrating at that higher level, again, you're drawing that element to you. Like attracts like. Creativity is rewarded. Go out and do stuff. Go out and do stuff that makes you happy. Go out and do stuff that brings you joy. Go out and do stuff that you're passionate about. And you'll be amazed at the people that are drawn to you, whether they're mates or not. They could be end up becoming lifelong friends, or your chosen family. It's amazing the people that we can meet when we're actually doing the things that bring us happiness. So get out there and enjoy life. And finally, luxurious or abundant resources. Again, the Empress, which I love the Empress card. The Empress's card is saying, go out there and pamper yourself. If what makes you happy is going out and getting a mani-pedi, go out and get a mani-pedi. If what makes you happy is a total makeover, go on and get yourself a makeover. If your idea of a good time is sitting in a bubble bath, reading a good book, and drinking wine, do that for yourself. The Empress today is very much about self-love. It's very much about being the person that you want to attract into your life. If you want somebody that takes care of themselves, you need to take care of yourself. If you want somebody that loves themselves, you need to love yourself. And the best way, again, to do that is perhaps put yourself first this week. Go out there and luxuriate. Pamper yourself this week. Why not go on a spa date with friends? Grab your best Judies and head to your local spa and make a day of it. Why not? The Empress is saying vibrate at the level that you want to bring into your life. And when you do, you'll be amazed at the kind of element that you draw into your life. It will be better than you could ever imagine. And finally, the Wheel card. The Wheel card is displayed as the Wheel of Fortune in the Rider-Waite deck. And the Wheel card is saying new beginnings, end of delays, a change in direction that offers happiness. Do it now. Do not wait. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. A new beginning is ready to begin for you right now. Right this minute, right this second, right this moment. A new beginning is about to happen for you. Allow it to happen. Be ready for it because it's coming. A change in direction that offers happiness. This entire reading so far today has been about movement. Moving in the right direction, moving in the right direction when it comes to love, loving yourself first, loving yourself, vibrating at that higher level, choosing the best path for you, getting out there and actually experiencing life with other people, getting out there and being available to receive and to give unconditional love because we're all worth it. All of that is movement. All of that is movement. And there's a saying that says love is a verb. You know, love is an action. Love actually does things. So if you're looking for love today, if you're looking for love this week, it's time to take action that will actually bring love into your life. And again, the best way to get love is to give love. And as long as you're going in it with the idea that I'm worthy of unconditional love, and so I receive it and I give unconditional love because we're all worth it, then you're heading in the right direction. What a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful message for us this week. I encourage us all to take that lesson, to apply it to our lives, and go out there and live the best life possible. So now we're at the nitty-gritty, which is already laid out. I really wish that last video there hadn't been anything wrong with the file because it was really good. But everything is laid out, including the affirmator. But we're going to dive into the nitty-gritty for today. We've got our morning card, we've got our midday/afternoon card, and we've got our evening card. And we'll start with the morning card, and it is the Emperor card. There it is. There's the Emperor. And the Emperor card is basically saying for our morning that everything is the status quo. Everything is stable, everything is secure. For the morning, change is not coming unless you actually choose that path of change. Talking about the Seven of Michael, everything will stay the status quo. And I believe that the universe is saying as we wake up this morning and we start our day today that everything will be the status quo. Everything will be the status quo until we decide to make that change for ourselves. And in fact, I think I'm going to switch this up. I'm going to switch this up a bit. The first card is the beginning of the week. The second card is the middle of the week. And the third card is the end of the week. Because this is a weekly forecast, and so we're going to switch this up a little bit. So the beginning of your week, everything will be the status quo. The beginning of the week, you're going to be at the Seven of Michael's crossroads. At the beginning of the week, you are going to need to make a choice, because if you don't, things will stay exactly the way that they are. Things are stable, things are secure, things aren't going anywhere, but there is no change happening in the beginning part of the week unless we choose to make things better for ourselves or different for ourselves. The beginning of the week will stay the same. And the universe is asking us, is that really what we want for ourselves? If so, fine. Status quo, continue to coast along that way. But if we want change in our lives, it's time to do things differently. Which leads us to the middle of the week, which is the Ten of Wands in the reverse position. The Ten of Wands in the reverse position. There's an opportunity coming in midweek for all of us to let go of the way things were and do things differently. There might even be an opportunity this week to go out and have some fun, and it might manifest itself in the middle of the week. If that's true, take it. If that's true, make sure that you go out there and you have a motherfucking blast. Make sure that you go out there and enjoy the hell out of yourself. And the Ten of Wands is saying it's time to release the burden of doing it all alone. The Seven of Michael says working alone may not be the best answer. The Ten of Wands in general is trying to do it all by itself, but when it's in the reverse position, it says there's an opportunity for us to let that go and actually go out there and engage with life. So I feel like in the middle of the week there might be an opportunity to go to a happy hour, or maybe a lecture or a class or a workshop or something. Something's going to happen for some of us in the middle of the week wherein we can actually get out there and engage with the world at large. Please do take advantage of that, and again, beginning to vibrate at that higher level that we've been talking about today. So that is our midday, not midday, but midweek. And finally, we're leading into the end of the week, which is the Strength card. There is the Strength card, and it's in the reverse position. When we're talking about love, first of all, you're stronger than you think you are. Whenever the Strength card comes up, I always tell people you are so much stronger than you ever give yourself credit for. You are more resilient than you give yourself credit for. You are an amazing, more than capable person. You are beautiful, wonderful, complete, and whole all by yourself. You are an amazing person, and you should give yourself more credit. And speaking of, being, full and complete all by ourselves, the Strength card is saying that in our pursuit of a relationship, make sure not to lose ourselves. Make sure not to compromise ourselves on the things that matter. Make sure that we are not compromising our character. Make sure that we are not compromising our core morals or our core values. Make sure that we are not bending ourselves to be palatable to someone else. It's important that we be ourselves and just live in that strength of who we are. There may be an opportunity coming up at the end of the week where you might run into someone that you're having a good time with, and there is a very strong possibility that for some of us, we will try to conform to what we think the other person wants from us, instead of being our beautiful and unique selves. We're trying to perhaps conform to something that perhaps is not us at our core. Be yourself. Be strong within who you are, and allow that just to be. It doesn't have to be an aggressive form of, this is who I am. People that are strong are generally quiet about it. They don't have to make a lot of noise about it. They just are. And people see that in them, and people respect that in them. And so the Strength card is encouraging us today to not allow ourselves to bend to other people's expectations of us, but to allow ourselves to be our beautiful and complete and whole selves, all by ourselves, and to tap into that potential of strength that is within all of us, because very often, again, we don't give ourselves credit, even half the credit that we deserve for being the strong people that we really are. So there's our reading for this week. There is our love reading for this week. I'm getting that there may be someone out there that will meet someone by the end of the week that has the potential to be a long-term thing. And if that's the case, just keep all of this in mind, being the person that you want to attract into your life, vibrating at that high frequency that we've been talking about, and being strong and being yourself at all times. So, thank you, universe, for that blessing. Thank you, universe, for that lesson. Thank you, Spirit, for teaching us today, and we will take those lessons and we will apply them to our lives accordingly. And so finally we did the love affirmators, because that's what we do every Sunday, and it's appreciation. There it is right there. Appreciation. And it says, I appreciate the unique ways other people show their love, rather than compare their ways with my ways. Then, I appreciate myself for maturely putting up with people who just can't seem to show love the normal, obvious, universally accepted way. Good job, both of us. Again, I appreciate the unique ways other people show their love, rather than compare their ways with my ways. Then, I appreciate myself for maturely putting up with people who just can't seem to show love the normal, obvious, universally accepted way. Good job, both of us. This card is advising us and encouraging us to see people for who they really are. Not for who we want them to be, not for their potential, not for their future, not for what they could be, but for who they really are right here and right now. This card is advising us it is important to take off the glasses of fantasy. It's important for us to take off the glasses of potential. It's important for us to take off the glasses of future thinking and actually see people for who they really are. Because when you do that, when you see people for who they actually and really are, you know how to proceed after that. You know how to progress after that. You know exactly what you can expect from these people. You know exactly what you can expect from the relationship. You know exactly how this person moves through life. When people tell you who they really are, believe them the first time. Maya Angelou. It's so important for us to not only see people for who they really are, but believe them, especially when they're trying to tell you who they really are. Believe them. And this card is saying, to appreciate them for who they really are once you see them for who they really are, and loving them unconditionally for who they really are when you see them for who they really are. Regardless of how the relationship pans out, you actually see people for who they really are, and you love them unconditionally for who they really are. What a beautiful blessing for today. And my blessing to you as we end this reading today is to love yourself. Love yourself fully. Love yourself completely. Love yourself wholly. Love yourself unconditionally. Love yourself first. Love yourself foremost. And everything else will fall into line. Have a fantastic week full of adventure, romance, and unconditional love. And I will see you tomorrow for our regular reading, and I will see you next Sunday for our love forecast for next week. Have a great one, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.